Okay, we had good CPI results yesterday, but the market didn't like them, and now for us, it's back to McDonald's, you see, because right now, Bitcoin's trading under that 200-day SMA, and we are failing to reclaim the bull line. But we did see something quite interesting yesterday in the stock markets, which is maybe a glimmer of hope. So this is what we saw yesterday in the stock markets. What you can see yesterday is that even though the CPI data was good, the NASDAQ went down, but the Russell went up, which means that the big caps went down, but the small caps went up. And a lot of people are now saying that because the small caps went up, that might be a good catalyst for Bitcoin. Be that as it may, today I've got a big show for you guys. Today I'm going to interview a crypto millionaire who only has 2 coins in his portfolio, and he says that's all he needs. I'm going to also talk to you about exactly which coins those actually are. So Friday, Banter, let's go. I'm not going to say that 2 coins in your portfolio is a good place to be. Definitely, I'm not going to say that. But I am going to say that the guest that I've got on today for you guys, which you know him very well, his name is Crash. He has 2 coins in his portfolio, and he says that's all he needs to make millions. So we'll find out exactly what those 2 coins are. Before we do though, remember, today is Friday. All our Friday banters are brought to you by NordVPN. Now listen, let's get into a serious talk here. I know that a lot of you guys have heard me talk about VPNs for weeks, and you still don't have a VPN. And I keep asking myself, why wouldn't you have a VPN? Is it because you don't have $3.99? Is it because you keep delaying the fact that you need a VPN? Because I'll tell you what's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's happened to everyone. It's happened to me. It's happened to everyone that I know. You are going to get hacked. You are going to get to a malicious website. You're going to click the malicious website, and your wallet is going to get drained, no matter how vigilant you are. You need all the tools that you can to protect yourself from this. Now, again, stop delaying it. I know every week we talk about this, and every week you say to yourself, next week I'll get it, or I don't really need a VPN, or I'm cautious. You're not. You're going to make a mistake. You're going to lose all your money. Go to the video below. Click on this NordVPN link. Get a VPN. That will make sure that you mask your IP address, and don't tell everybody in the world, including governments and hackers, exactly where you are. Also, if you go today and you get the deal, you also get a 𝗧cie𝗱 data gift. Now, what's a 𝗧cie𝗱 data gift? You know, like when you go traveling and you don't want to get a new SIM card because your SIM card doesn't work in that country. Well, an eSIM or a 𝗧cie𝗱 basically gives you free data in the country that you're traveling in. Sign up today, under $3 a month, you get the eSIM. Also, NordVPN is nothing without actually taking the threat protection, because the threat protection is the one that protects you against the malicious websites. Guys, $9 a month or $3 a month for each. You protect your crypto, and you protect and you support the channel, and you don't hate yourself, or you're not going to hate yourself when you eventually land up getting hacked, which everybody does at some point. All right, listen, Friday, we failed to get liftoff yesterday with the CPI numbers. In fact, the markets are now back down. My Bitfunded challenge, for those of you who are following, I'm still in the game. I've still got that position on Bitcoin. I'm still in the game, but I hope I don't get liquidated. I really hope I don't get liquidated. Remember, if you want to play, go to bitfunded.com. And take a challenge, 10, 25, 50,000, 100,000. Otherwise, yeah, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show. I've got a very good guest for us today. Crash, how are you, my friend? How are you feeling about the markets? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is bearish and 10 is absolutely bullish, where are you on the scale today?
I'm like 9 out of 10 right now, because ultimately I don't think there's that much downside in the market. And, you know, I believe we're in a bull market. And when you're in a bull market, typically the market doesn't dip, you know, more than 30 to 40% max. And, you know, at this point, Bitcoin has already dipped over 20%. And the thing is like, okay, worst case, let's say we got a 30% dip in the market. That puts Bitcoin at 50K. So it's at 57K. Am I really scared of 6,000 to 7,000 points of downside when the thing has over 100,000 plus points of upside? No. Anyone who's scared of 7,000 points to the downside when there's literally 100,000 plus points staring you in front of your face, then you just lack logic, and that's not me. So
what you're saying is that the risk return right now is much more favored towards the upside than it is to the downside. Any specific narratives or tokens that you're super bullish on? In fact, no. Before we go there, what makes you so much bullish? What makes you so bullish Like, I get that there's more downside, more upside than there is downside, but are there specific things that you're looking at the market and you're going, this market's got it wrong, or this market's overfunded, or something like that?
Yeah. So, for example, everyone knows Bitcoin halving and how the charts look after that. There's a great chart by my good friend Max from Because Bitcoin, which shows the charts whenever, post election and then pre election. And so, every single time pre election, the market is pretty much in an uptrend towards the election, and then it really takes off after the election. So, especially with Trump being pro crypto, I don't see how this time would be any different post election, just like every other one for crypto. So, then you have interest rates lowering later this year. And then, of course, for me, see, that's all the macro, and that's all the, real world things that people look at. Me personally, I don't care that much actually about the real world events and things happening. And I know that's crazy to a lot of people, but me personally, I just like to look at the charts and look at the patterns, and then just look at how, people feel. And because, I'm not sure how many know, but like, I actually shorted Bitcoin at 69K in 2021, and that's on my channel, and anyone can watch that. You can just go back to whenever that happened. And so at that point, every single person on YouTube was making watch parties. Bitcoin, new all-time high watch party. And I started that video off like really, aggressive. I was kind of making fun of people. I was saying, why are you guys all throwing all-time high watch parties celebrating when you should be shorting the market? It's the top. And then, the Bitcoin collapsed after, like, there was some like Chinese FUD or something, and it dumped like 6,000 points in a day shortly after. And anyways, that was a moment where everyone thought Bitcoin could do no wrong, and it was guaranteed going to 100,000. You couldn't really convince anyone that Bitcoin, wasn't headed to at least 100K. And so right now, you look at that time, everyone was so certain of the upside. Whereas right now, everyone's not certain. There's a lot of people questioning, shit, are we going to have a bigger correction? Are we ready to go higher yet? And see, market tops aren't created when people are uncertain. Market tops are created when everyone's incredibly greedy and, over the top confident about something. And so that's why, once price starts to actually reverse and go against people, they're not prepared for that downside. And that's why they're caught off guard. And that's what creates these, cascading liquidations to the downside, and that panic and that fear, because no one was positioned for that downside. So they're all of a sudden they're caught off guard, and then bam, bam, they have to start unloading their positions because they weren't ready for it. And so that happens when everyone's overly confident. Right now, it's not overly confident like it was at 69K back in 2021. So that's how I can be fairly confident that it's not an ultimate top in the market. And then once again, when I just look at how the charts look post the election, going into the election, and all these factors, to me, it's just pretty clear that I don't have, it's a pattern recognition. And right now is not the pattern to me of an ultimate top. So I can be confidently bidding and buying the dips.
I couldn't agree. As I said, I couldn't agree with you more. Why? Because I see that the fear and greed is at 29. Cycles don't end with the fear and greed at 29. Cycles end with the euphoric fear and greed. The other thing which I look at is a very simple thing. I look at the RSIs. And for me, like, RSIs, because they're about sentiment and they're about or even better, let's just look at the stochastic. The stochastic RSI is probably the easiest one to look at. But if I look at the stochastic RSI on the weekly, which is, the way the trend is, you can see that the stochastic RSI is very low. And you kind of know that every time the stochastic RSI is low, there's going to be some kind of rebound. It's happened every single time in history. So I agree with you. This behavior is not top-ish behavior. In fact, for those of us who have been here for a long time, this is actually buy the dip behavior, specifically in this part of the cycle. Let's go into more general things. Are there any narratives that you're looking at? And let's leave meme coins for last, because I've got a big discussion with you today around meme coins. Any narratives right now where you're looking at the market and you're going like, this is a fucking sitting duck. Like, this is the easiest thing in the world to play.
Well, see, for me, I know a lot of people are excited about gaming and AI, for example. Me, I'm not going to be taking any big bets in gaming, for example, besides one. And then AI, I have no bets in AI. So for me, actually, personally, I'm not bullish on all these sectors. Me, I'm hyper focused on, what you said. Let's wait to talk about is memes and then currency, right? I think currency has the most upside. And then, what I consider currency is Bitcoin, possibly Litecoin. And, that's what has infinite upside to me. Same with Monero, even though Monero is a major underperformer and it's considered to be, it's very hard to get your hands on it, but it's a real currency that people can use and exchange with each other. And it's probably the most powerful currency, in my opinion.
Do you see 𝗏𝗂𝗡 as a currency? Because 𝗏𝗂𝗡 came out as almost like silver to Bitcoin's gold, much quicker. Do you see that as a currency too, or do you now see that as a layer one smart contract blockchain?
Yeah, so I'm really bullish on 𝗏𝗏𝗡, and the thing about 𝗏𝗏𝗡 is, I think, first off, it's so new, it's hard to really put it in that category of a currency, to me at least. And that's the thing, some of this stuff is subjective, because in 10 years time people could say 𝗏𝗏𝗡 is like a currency like Bitcoin, but the thing is, I just see it as a very speculative, bet that, me personally, like, I don't care about the fundamentals of 𝗏𝗏𝗡. I don't care what the transaction speed is. I don't care about the block size. I don't care about any of that. I don't care if it was decentralized, centralized. All I care about is its pair versus Ethereum. And that's the reason why 𝗏𝗏𝗡 is one of my biggest positions going into this bull run. It's not because of the fundamentals of it. I don't care about the fundamentals. I just care about its chart versus Ethereum. And when I look at the chart versus Ethereum, I'm incredibly bullish on it. When I look at its chart paired versus Bitcoin, I'm incredibly bullish on it. And I can share my screen and show you.
Yeah, if you can.
But
yeah,
man, I think this is one of the most, bullish pairs. I'm sharing my screen right now.
Okay, let me just see. I'm just quickly trying to get yours. There we go. I've got your screen.
Yeah, so this is 𝗏𝗏𝗡 paired versus Ethereum, right? And so you can see, since late 2022, right? It basically has these dips versus Ethereum. So it had one right there, a dip right there, a dip right there, and then this one as well. It's had, which was the longest dip versus Ethereum. And to anyone who doesn't understand this chart, it just basically, if this chart is going to the right, up and to the right, it means it's outperforming Ethereum if you're holding 𝗏𝗏𝗡, right? And so, like, for example, if you held 𝗏𝗏𝗡 from, the early 2023, right, to now, you've outperformed holding Ethereum by 6x, right? So you could have actually bought yourself 6 times more Ethereum by holding 𝗏𝗏𝗡 had you had held 𝗏𝗏𝗡 since, June of 2023, for example, right?
But do you think
so that's what I'm trying
with the theory of diminishing marginal returns, and the fact that 𝗏𝗏𝗡's market cap is now in the billions, do you still think that there's as much upside? I mean, if like you're talking about, you said it yourself, it's a young protocol relative to Bitcoin. I'm just quickly checking the market cap for us. 𝗏𝗏𝗡's market cap is $4 billion. How much more upside is there in a protocol that has $4 billion?
Yeah, so we all know, or most of us probably know, if you're here in 2021, Cardano, right? ADA hit 80 billion with 0 users. No one actually used that chain. It hit 80 billion. We saw AVAX, right? Hit around 35 billion or 40 billion, if I remember correctly. We had Polkadot hit same around 35 billion. So, that is kind of my targets for what I see as the best chart versus Ethereum and Bitcoin from all the layer ones. Because, okay, for example, let's look at this layer one blockchain called 𝗏𝗏𝗡, right? Why am I going to look at this one? Because this is like a heavily VC-backed, blockchain that, has so much supply that just gets unlocked, I think. And so, these coins, for example, I'm pulling it up here. You can see it, right? So this is another blockchain, right? And look at its chart. It's just down and to the right.
Down, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's because why? I think a lot of the reason is because so much of the supply gets unlocked. There's unlimited supply here. And I don't know how much they're diluting it every week or month, but my guess is a lot of supply is probably being unlocked, and there's not any real demand for this blockchain. No one's even using it. And so all the supply is just, it can't really combat, or the buy pressure can't combat that. So anyways, we look at this 𝗏𝗏𝗡 versus Ethereum, right? Go 𝗏𝗏𝗡 USDT over Ethereum over USDT. Now look at that shit, okay? See that? Down and to the right. So holding 𝗏𝗏𝗡, you're underperforming and you're losing your Ethereum value, right? And so that is the thing. This is the case for most layer one blockchains right now. If we look at DOT USDT over ETH, I bet you DOT is, it's underperforming Ethereum, you see? And so you have to be very careful. What are you holding? Because if you're holding the wrong things, you're going to actually get priced out of and have less Ethereum over time. So yeah, you still might make a little bit of money on Polkadot, but time has kind of shown us that right now you're better off just holding Ethereum. And so that's the thing. You take all these layer ones. Polkadot, they say, is not a layer one. So let's go with one more, layer one. That could be, do you have any idea of a layer one we could put in here? That's like maybe an old, let's go ADA USDT over ETH. And so then you look at this, and once again, underperforming Ethereum. Why would you hold something that's going to underperform Ethereum, right? You wouldn't want to. So that's why when you look at all the layer one blockchains and you see what? They're down and to the right, meaning you're underperforming ETH. Why would I want to underperform ETH?
So if you were building a portfolio now for the rest of the bull market, what would you include in the portfolio? I guess I'm writing down here. 𝗏𝗧𝗱 is one of them that you would include in the portfolio, right?
Yeah.
What
yes,
else would you,
for sure.
What else would you put as your highest conviction bets?
So I wrote a message in some group chats, last week, and I said, if I had to restart my entire portfolio over today, I would just go 50-50 𝗏𝗧𝗱 and Brett. That's it.
That's it.
If like
Two
zero
coins.
leverage, zero leverage, 2 coins, 𝗏𝗧𝗱 and Brett. And people will call you crazy. They'll say, well, where's your Bitcoin? Where's your safety? Where's your this and that? Man, look, you know what they say, right? Going the traditional route is going to get you traditional results. I continue to make non-traditional results. I continue to make, special results. People see it in my positions, and that's why people are following me. And so, look, people will call that crazy. People say that's not safe to only go into 2 assets like that. But I think it's, based on my knowledge and based on the time I've spent in the charts and watching all this stuff, to me, that is more than comfortable. I am comfortable in that, truly and fully. So while others may think that's crazy, it's not at all to me.
Okay, I mean, the reason why I think it's crazy is because both of them are very high market cap coins. So, like Brett's amazing. It's a $1.5 billion meme coin. You got 𝗏𝗧𝗱 at $4 billion. Maybe there's a 10x in both of them. Let's say that's like your best case scenario here is a 10x. There's no 100x's or 1000x's there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already up around 500x on Brett, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, another 10x is great, and I don't know, 10x it sounds great from where I'm currently at right now. That would be great.
Okay, so I mean, since you went into it, let's get into the meme coin part, because I really want to, I've been thinking a lot about meme coins, and I started drafting, I started writing something yesterday. I haven't finished writing it, but I did summarize parts of it into a tweet where, so this is what I said in the tweet. I'll quickly find the tweet for us just so we've got it here. So I said, look, I think meme coins have lost their way a little bit. And the reason why I think meme coins have lost their way a little bit is because, let me just switch here. So I said, look, if meme coins are really about memes, why isn't there a single meaningful meme around 𝗏𝗏𝗡? And the reason why I said that was because, to me, like, the only real internet meme that's been born, or the biggest internet meme that's been born in the last, month, has been 𝗏𝗏𝗡. And I haven't seen one single 𝗏𝗏𝗡 meaningful meme coin. And then that got me questioning the whole market around meme coins. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that meme coins are here to stay. And I think that we're all going to make a lot of money out of meme coins. But I'm very worried about the current guys of meme coins. So why am I worried about them? Number one, they're not memes anymore. Like the first kind of meme coins, I said the first. I know they're not the first, but DOGE was the meme of the dog. And then SHIB kind of re-memed a meme of a dog. Then you had like the next generation of memes, which was Pepe and Brett and whatever else. And you could argue that Pepe was an internet meme way before it got into crypto. But then I look at the new generation of meme coins, and none of them are actually memes. Like when I look at water, beer, tea, even some of the new meme coins, the character coins, they're not memes. They're just people trying to create characters, right? So if I take I'm not talking about the Matt Fury collections. I'm not talking about the Pepe, Brett's, Andy's, because those were actually characters before the memes actually existed. And some of those characters were memes and some of them weren't. My big problem is the following. I think that meme coins have become one of a certain number of coins. The first one is a chain mascot. Resistance Dog for me is the chain mascot around Telegram. Brett has become the chain mascot around Base. Bonk or Dog with Hat has become the chain mascot around Solana, etc., etc. And that for me is one category of meme coins. The second category of meme coins is celebrity coins. And celebrity coins, I guess, don't have a very good track record, and they based on the behavior of the celebrity. The third category of coins is a character coin. So you're trying to create a character. Punky is a good example of that. Peng is a good example. You're trying to create a new character, and you're trying to monetize, and you're trying to create a meme around the character. But it's not a meme, it's a character. And the problem that I have is that with all of these memes, I don't see a value capture mechanism for the meme coins other than hot potato sentiment, i.e., how long will sentiment last in this meme coin before I can get out? And the last kind of meme coin that I see, which is actually a combination of all of them, is insider coins, where in my mind, the majority of meme coins are actually insider coins, where insiders buy, snipe, buy 90% of the token on launch. It's very, very, very tightly held by insiders. Then they use their influence to get retail to come in and buy. And slowly over time, they offload their holdings onto retail, right? And by that time, the token's already up in the sky, and the insiders are just dumping onto the holders. So my big gripe is that I don't think that this current meme coin craze is about meme coins anymore. I think it's all about an insider. Can you trace where the cabal is? And can you buy what the cabal is buying before everybody else? And can you sell it before everybody else? And I think that that's become the name of the game. I'm very keen to hear your view, because I know that you're very plugged into what's going on. And I think you know exactly what I'm talking about around the insiders and the cabal. And yeah, I want to hear your view around this.
Yeah, so ultimately, I don't think it really matters if it's a cabal or not, because, for example, I've seen so many coins where it's so-called insider launches, and I just look at them and I'm like, that's going to shit. That's gonna collapse. And so, look, if I have the knowledge to look at something and say, okay, that's going to shit, while other people are buying that, that's a skill issue, right? If someone decides to buy something at the top and say they think, they, like you said, the people use their influence to get these people to buy. That's the thing. Like, it's a choice to buy, and at the end of the day, if you lose, you lose. But you eventually, from losing, should learn what works and what doesn't, and you'll start to look at some of these charts and these cabal insider launches, and you'll look at it and you'll be like, oh wait, I've seen that before. That's not going to work. Oh, I've seen that before. So that's going to collapse.
So, do you know any successful meme coin that hasn't been, let's call it a cabal coin? And when I say a cabal coin, I mean a coin that was sniped or not sniped, but whitelisted, or whatever terminology you want to use, 95% at launch or before launch, and the rest, and it was held by a bunch of influencers, insiders, high-profile people, and now the coin is at a high market cap. Do you know any coins that didn't do that at a high market cap, other than, let's say, 𝗧𝗱?
𝗧𝗱. So you're saying if I know any coins that made it super high, without naturally, super organically?
Yes. Yes.
So this is the thing. I don't think people realize, maybe Dogecoin was the most, maybe seemingly that like example, but to be honest, man, success is not just like luck fully, right? Like, I think people need to realize, you don't get to $1 billion+ market cap or valuation on accident, or just because, like, oh, these beautiful community members came together and it was just 100%. No, like, there's got to be people treating it like a business, or usually, I mean, in 99% of cases, from what I see, you got to have some people who really care, because if no one's incentivized or cares, because, okay, here, let's say a regular community member, they have $1,000 bag. Mm-hmm. Is $1,000 bag enough for these guys to drop their full-time jobs and work on that project? No, definitely not. So are they gonna put their heart and soul into that? No, they're just gonna, if things are going south, they'll just sell it and then they'll move on to the next thing. And so, that's 90% of people. So that's what, a community can be vibrant, it can be good, but a community can also just, if they're not feeling optimistic, just sell out and go and on to the next thing. So you actually need someone, you need an anchor, you need some people who truly are committed to seeing that thing become a major success. And, I think it's a fairy tale. Anyone who thinks that, coins just magically go to $1 billion+. Well, first off, how many meme coins have went to $1 billion+? I can, you can do on two hands.
Yeah, probably 10. Probably 10.
Exactly. And now you look at those. Bonk. Does that really look like fully community, no insiders? No, of course it was planned and calculated to some extent. Look at 𝗬𝗏𝗡. That one, I know that one actually, that contract got rugged a few times before it finally got the right one. So maybe that's a good example of persistence, ultimately shining through for the win. But guess what? On that final contract, whoever came together and put that together, it's a very good chance these people, saw an opportunity and, maybe were able to buy up enough of the supply that they would be incentivized to, who's paying for all these advertisements, who's doing all this work to get 𝗬𝗏𝗡 around the world and, in countries outside the US, right? So like, yeah, it could come from community members, but the typical, 90% of community members, they have $1,000 bag and they're just ready to sell and move on to the next thing as soon as things turn south. So it's really every single coin in the world is people have to have incentive and a reason to see that thing blow up. Even Bitcoin, right? Because people basically got these big bags of Bitcoin that started to become valuable. And then they started to, for example, pay for press releases, pay for these articles, pay for the news outlets to cover it. But someone's paying for that. It's not all just natural and organic. I guarantee you there's big players out there in the world who are paying for this press coverage on Bitcoin because they know it's going to return them a lot and they have a massive fucking position. They want to control the media and what everyone thinks about Bitcoin, right? So I don't know, man. It's an interesting thing where to me it's just like, is it possible? Yes. But ultimately, what's the underlying factor that needs to be there, whether it's a community, whether it's inside, whatever format or method that's taken, people need to be incentivized to actually push something truly. And at the end of the day, people think that it's just $1,000 bag holder who's going to be the one to put it on the map and do it all. And that's not
okay. So let me ask you a question. If you were to look to repeat the Brett playbook, what do you think Brett is doing or did right? And I mean, look, let's be completely honest and transparent with the community, because I think it's pretty much out there. Everyone kind of knows it's pretty much out there. But you've got the Brett KOL list, which was published, and they said 80%, 70%, 80% of Brett was effectively sniped and probably shared amongst insiders. I think that's pretty much in the public, and I think everybody's accepted it. And if you look at the chart of Brett, what the market's telling you is that they actually believe that it's a good idea. It's a good model, right? Like the chart of Brett is saying it's a good model to have insiders in. We would rather be in a coin with insiders than not be in a coin with insiders, right?
I disagree, because I can show you so many insider coins that, I've seen so many coins say, we're going to copy the Brett playbook. Go look at their fucking chart in the shit. Okay. So actually it's not, this is the funny part to me, because truly I believe I see the game from a bird's eye view, and I'm seeing what people don't see. And everyone thinks, oh, we just snipe up the supply and then the fucking coin's going to go to the moon. No, I'm sorry. They're all retards and they don't actually see what I see. Now, do I want to share everything that I see and give all the freaking pointers to all these people? Man, I kind of see it as like, man, let these goofballs goof the fuck around. Let them snipe up all the fucking supply. Go ahead, snipe up 99% of supply. Have fucking fun and good luck to you, because you guys are missing a lot of key details about this shit.
So what are the key details? That's what I'm trying to ascertain here. Like, because as you say, there are 90% snipe coins that never ever get traction. What makes a Brett different? What makes a Pepe different? What makes the good ones different? That's what I'm trying to nail down here.
Okay, I'll give a couple vague factors. Okay, so for example, you can buy up 99% of supply. Now, guess what? The community has 1%. You think the community, when you have, let's say, 10,000 people sharing 1% of the supply, you think those people are excited about their bag size? You think those people are excited about their future?
So you're saying you need to give the community enough holdings you need to have just enough to get the community to care, but not enough for the community to dump the token. So you can't give the community 80%, but you also can't give them 1% or 2%. So you need to...
That's not fully true too. See, because here's the thing. There's a coin, two coins I see, because, you got to realize every project in the world, reaches out to me, and I see what they text me and they say, hey man, we are going to copy the Brett playbook. We're going to snipe up 80% of supply and we're gonna send it, man. And I just ignore that shit. And then I check on their chart a week later and it's basically at zero. For example, there was one called 𝗀𝗧cie, right? And they're like, we're gonna be the purple guy on the purple blockchain. And guess what they did? They bought up 80% of supply. I looked at that shit and I said, that's going to hell. And I was right. And I've seen other ones, here's the thing. Scrat, for example.
Yes.
Scrat had every single influencer and KOL in the game. And I looked at that and I said, watch, a fan coin about me is going to flip that. And that happened. So I call these things in advance, and I don't call these things publicly, for example, like on Twitter while it's happening, because I'm not trying to FUD people's bags or anything, but in private chats and group chats and just whoever's kind of around me, I call it out, and anyone can attest to that who's around me. And so this is prime examples of, man, you can get all the fucking supply you want, but you cannot. It's not as simple as, right? If it was as simple as, oh, just buy up all the supply and there you go, you're going to have a successful coin. Well, everyone would have a successful coin.
So what happened with Scrat? Why do you think Scrat got nailed like this? I mean, he was a squirrel and a rat. I remember him. They actually sponsored one of our shows. Why do you think that? What happened here? Why did this thing go from the 70 millions or wherever it was to 2 million, where it is today?
Yeah. So, here's the thing. Like, I almost don't want to, let's say people from Scrat are here watching and listening. I almost don't want them to just get the blueprint from me, because I do believe I see the blueprint and I see all the factors that go into this stuff. And sometimes, like I said, I kind of just want to let
but surely it's better for all of us if we share all the best practice, and isn't blockchain about sharing all the best practice openly and transparently, so that we can move forward? Like Elon Musk made all the Tesla designs open source, almost like saying anyone can use them, because that betters the industry. Surely in our position in the industry, we should share as much knowledge as we know, so people can do things better.
When I say I have the blueprint, what I mean is I see the common characteristics of winners. And so Scrat, it didn't have some of those common characteristics. For example, at the end of the day, here's two main principles that things boil down to for anything to succeed. You need a lot of people to come together who want to see it win. But for example, if you have 100 influencers, but you don't have that many, actual community and people, okay, congratulations. You just had 100 influencers, but you didn't have 1,000 even or 2,000 true people who, even saw the potential truly. And so ultimately, right, the main factor I'm trying to get at here, you need people to come together who want to see something do well, and not just a small group of people. You need everyone to come together and believe in the upside and the future of that thing. And obviously, if you fail to get people to come together and believe in the upside in something, obviously it's not going to go up. I mean, see, that seems like common sense, but once again, it can't just be, oh, we have 100 influencers and nobody gives a shit about us. It can't be, and so
what makes people give a shit about Brett but not give a shit about Scrat?
Okay, well, look at this chart. Where were the first community members buying Scrat? You really think it was on that first candle?
I think the retail I think the majority got free SHIB tokens, but the community members, the retail, got it somewhere over here.
Okay, so they got fed the first entry above 50, 60, 70 million market cap. How do you think the original, let's say the first community member bought it 60 million market cap? That is not some entry to be incredibly, incredibly proud about on something that's completely unproven. 60 million entry on, something else. I mean, see, this is the thing. It's a little hard to explain sometimes, but, you do need some people. Okay, if from 0 to 60 mil, man, that's only KOLs, that's only influencers, then your true community, the people that are gonna die hard for the coin, they don't have a great entry. Like, you prioritized yourself over everyone, and so without like I said, man, I know you say, like, share it all, tell us all everything. And, like I said, I think it's up to everyone to just look at these things and get a better feel and know, man, is it going to work?
Yeah, but the problem is that you say a feel, but I think people want to try and understand where you get your feel from. You know what I mean? Like, Like I also have a feel, but I try and articulate what I'm seeing and why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking. I think what you're saying though is that you want people to be buying on the way up and not at the top. You kind of like you want the chart to almost do that, right? Am I reading that correctly? Like you almost want people accumulating here so that more and more and more people care when it gets to here.
That's definitely a smarter angle, I would say, for sure. Definitely this is not a smart angle in my opinion.
Okay.
like I said, people think, oh, let's buy up 80%. Congratulations. Have fun, So
what else do you believe? What else do you believe are the reasons why Brett is successful? And I don't want to use Scrat because I think we've hit these guys hard enough, but why others aren't as successful. So one is you probably need people to accumulate on the way up and not at the top on the way down. You want people, I think people will love it more when they start earning more. I think that's probably a good learning.
There's devs and people, they need to care about their people. They need to care about the entries of their people. If you're giving them some high ass entry because you bought up all the supply, like you prioritized yourself over others, and that reeks. You can smell that, you can feel that. And when you can feel that, you don't have confidence as a holder or a buyer or an investor. So when there's a whole different level of feeling when you feel like you're taken care of, or when you feel like, am I just being used at the top? Or, why did like 100 influencers get in just before me and all of a sudden I'm only getting in like above 60, 80 million? So yeah, authenticity, it really is valuable. And also taking care of people is a valuable thing. And if you don't take care of people, man, they're not going to take care of you. They're not going to care about your chart. And
so how would you say they do or don't take care of people? Like give me an example of like devs that took care of people, and how did they take care of people?
Well, Brett, for example, you know how many people have told me, Crash, I entered into Brett at 3 million, 5 million, 7 million, 10 million, 20 million market cap. And I am up hundreds of thousands. I'm up 50,000. Some are up over $1 million because of that. Now, do you think any person on Scrat had the chance to ever make even, 100,000 really? No,
Probably
because
not.
They got fed it at 60 million market cap. And from there, it would be very hard for any typical regular person to be able to make any real money. And so if people can't make money, how can they feel invested? How can they feel optimistic about the future? How can they be emotionally invested about the upside that they have in that asset? Right? If you buy Bitcoin at $100 and all of a sudden you see it's going up to 500, man, you feel excited. You feel, holy shit, maybe I'm a part of something big. Maybe there's really life-changing upside for me here. And when you have people that can feel that life-changing upside, that can feel like they were taken care of, that's a big difference, man. And so, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, just one sec. Okay. So one is people actually making money and feeling much more invested, feeling like the coin is taking care of them, and then being invested. In other words, I think if you put $10,000 into a coin and it's worth $1 million, you now really, really, really care about that coin. So I think what you're saying is you want the chart to be doing that and not to be doing that. That's, I think, like rule number one of coins, right?
I mean, for sure. No one wants a chart that's going down. Of course, it's easier said than done, And of course, there's a lot of things that go into it, man. But yeah, like ultimately that main principle there is you got to look out for people, man. Because if you're just looking out for yourself, people can feel that, and then they'll have no confidence in your chart or what the fuck you're doing. So.
Okay, what else? Give me some other ones.
Okay.
Putting it under pressure.
It's the narrative, man. Is the narrative. The narrative has to be bussin', okay? As the young generation says. Okay, like let's say Scrat. All right. This is something I didn't want to go over too much, but okay, let's say Scrat has out of 100 people who see that narrative, how many people are going to be like, damn, that fucking slaps. That shit is good. I really like this. Okay, maybe 0.1 people, 0.2 people out of 100 humans. Okay. So not even one person out of 100 will probably look at that and say, fuck, that shit is amazing. I want in, It's like, it's a very low percentage of people. Now, whenever you show them something else, and let's say it has a higher percentage of people that will say, damn, that is fucking good. That makes sense. I really like that. I can see the upside in that. Let's say you go from Scrat, right? Let's say 0.1, 0.2 people out of 100 like it. But then let's say on Brett, let's say like 5 out of every 100 people says, damn. Like, let's say 95 people out of 100 say, fuck that, bullshit. What is this crap? Matt Fury, blah, blah, blah. But 5 people say, you know what? I like that. That thing makes sense. I see the upside here. Now, think about the difference. Scrat, you have 0.1 to 0.2 people out of 100 who like it and are converting into that. Brett, 5 out of 100, for example. Now, let's say you're doing marketing, right? Okay. You do this marketing and you spend $100,000. Which $100,000 is going to go further? On Brett or on Scrat? Whenever you have 5 people that like Brett out of 100, or on Scrat, 0.1 to 0.2 people that like out of 100. Clearly, the market.
What do you think it is? What do you think it is? Just what do you think it is that makes Brett so much more lovable than Scrat? Like, I got to be honest. Like, if I was a non-crypto person, I didn't know Brett and I didn't know Scrat and I didn't look at Matt Fury and looked at this, I would kind of say like, yeah, Scrat's like a pretty cute hamster rat or whatever he is, squirrel rat. And Brett's like a pretty cool, friend of Pepe the Frog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so this is a huge thing in memes, dude. And not just in memes, in companies around the world, everything is value is derived from comparison a lot of time. For example, if you think Coca-Cola is the #1 drink in the world, and then you look at what you think is the #2 drink in the world, and you say, well, shit, I think the #2 drink in the world should be half the value of Coke.
Yes.
So now, because you have confidence in a comparative value, you can have confidence that this thing should be valued at this because this thing is valued at that. And so with Brett, that is something that is super important, because people can look at Pepe and they can say, well, shit, that's at 6 billion. So I have real confidence that Brett should be at 3 billion.
So comparative value. So comparative value.
Yeah, comparative value is
you got to have something. You got to have something to compare it to. And in this case, you're saying Scrat. I don't have a frame of reference. Who is he? How does he fall into the schedule of memes? But if Brett has a 10 or 20 million market cap, sorry, Pepe has a 10 or 20 billion market cap, then, well, you can kind of justify that Brett has a 10% of that, 20% of that, 30% of that. So comparative value.
It's far more easy to really give people confidence on actual value. Once again, another example. Oh, there's Tesla or there's Toyota. Well, surely Toyota's got to be a percentage of Tesla at least. And so, there's going to be all these analysts around the world saying, well, Toyota should be at least 10%. Someone will be like, oh, it should be worth 50%, blah, blah, blah. Like, so you need that in anything. That's how, these comps are made for these companies. And it's the same thing applies to the meme coin. So look, you can derive your value from something else, which here's the thing about Brett, maybe it has this baked in derived value from Pepe originally, but in reality, it has a lot more value than any derived value. Okay.
So it's starting to pick up its own momentum, so to speak.
Yeah, not only that, but here's where it's not a derivative at all. It's the #1 meme coin on Base, meaning it's not #2, it's not #3, it's not #4. No, it's #1 on Base, meaning forget derivative. That word, it's out of your vocabulary with Brett because it's #1. You can't be a derivative if you're #1 anymore. You see? Now, if you're #1 on ETH,
he's #1 on Base, but he's not #1 meme coin. #1 meme coin, you could say, in this narrative, is Pepe.
For now. Here's the thing about Brett. It's actually gaining dominance versus Pepe. And, well, I've been saying it. So, okay, last cycle, 2021, you had Doge and SHIB, the 2 dog coins. And this time around, you have Pepe and Brett, the 2 frog and toad coins, right? So basically, we saw multiple times SHIB actually flip Doge last cycle in 2021. Momentarily, briefly. It wasn't permanent. But I think we're going to see the same happen. Brett is going to flip Pepe at points in the cycle. And, Brett is a very unique monster because it has so many unique things happening for it that no other coin will ever be able to say, which is being #1 meme coin on Base. Think about that. No coin ever in history will ever get to say that.
Yes.
And think about this. We want to talk about derivatives. Okay, if you're the #2 coin on Base, #3, 4, 5, 6, you are deriving your value from Brett. because it's number one. So you become a percentage of Brett if you're the number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. So every single coin on Base is a derivative of Brett's value. Now, Brett is actually a derivative of Base as a chain. See, Brett gets so much of its value because it's the number one meme on Base. That's where so much of the value is created. You see, because it derives its value by being the number one meme on Base. So it gets the value from the chain. So really, the order is the chain, then to the number one meme, then number 2, number 3, number 4. And of course, you have your other categories like AI.
How much do you think, how long can Brett keep its Base mascot status without being listed on Coinbase? Because like, almost like I guess that the best meme on Base has to be fucking listed on Coinbase.
You would think, exactly. And so think about it, right? Bonk on Solana is the number 2 meme on Solana, and Coinbase listed the number 2 meme on Solana.
But
so you don't think they'll list the number one. But here's the thing, Brett's only been out for 4 months. Now, actually imagine this. Can you imagine the allegations, the insider theories? Imagine Brett was launched and in the first month, Coinbase listed it. Do you understand how insider that would look? Do you understand how crazy that would look? That would, it would cause so much scrutiny because it would be like, well, what the hell? Every other meme coin in Coinbase history never got listed in 1 month, 4 months, not even in 1 year. Actually, Bonk maybe 1 year. Actually,
maybe
roughly.
1 year, yeah. Bonk was about a year.
So anyways, you cannot just be like all of a sudden launching a coin and then bam, it's listed like 1 month later on the biggest exchange in the world or second exchange in the world. People need to understand.
What do you think they're waiting for? Do you think they're waiting for more distribution from insiders to community? Like, what do you think they're waiting for?
So one, I think once again, that time period from launch to listing, it's going to be very fishy, or it would be very weird if all of a sudden it just listed like 1 or 3 months after, because no meme coin ever has listed that quickly on Coinbase. And Coinbase is so damn selective with the meme coins that have listed. They've only listed 3 ever, right? DOGE, SHIB, and Bonk. So yeah, first thing I think is time is an important factor. I laugh my ass off when people say, well, if Brett is the number one meme, why isn't it listed? Chill the fuck out, bro. It's been 4 months. Zoom out. We got a year, 2 here. Things are going to be chill. You're just too stupid to actually see how stupid it would look by Coinbase to list something that fast, okay? That's number one. Number two, okay, when you look at the length of listing for all their other coins, it's a year plus. So once again, I think you need to work your way to there. But also, this is a chance for Brett to get listed on every single exchange outside of Coinbase, man. Let's get Binance.
I mean, it's got it's got a lot of listings. I mean, I saw on the website, just look how many listings they've got. Let's quickly go to the website. I saw a whole lot of listings, but I mean, I guess that the big ones are the ones that are missing, which is the Binance and the Coinbase.
Coinbase is always supposed to be pretty much last, right?
Yes.
And so first, how about if we're thinking logically, knock out every single listing outside of Coinbase first, then we'll talk about Coinbase, and that just makes sense from Coinbase's perspective. It kind of makes sense, right? Because every other exchange listed Brett already, so surely we were going to be the ones to list it next, because all of a sudden, Coinbase is front running every other exchange to list a coin. All of a sudden that looks insider. That looks weird. And I'm not saying Coinbase is insider or they're involved with Brett at all, but you just need to understand from their perspective, how does that look for their brand, their company? They have to be smart and they can't make rash decisions just because your impatient motherfucking ass wanted Brett to be listed so quickly on the exchange,
I got it.
Not you, but everyone.
No, of course. I mean, we've been in Brett. I think I don't know if we got in as early as you got in, but we certainly got in quite early. Okay, so with that in mind, which are the tokens that you think are following the same playbook? Like, do you think Resistance Dog is going to be another Brett? Do you think that it could be that big?
So Resistance Dog is such a good narrative, and it's really great. There's only one thing I see about Resistance Dog, and it is community incentive for people to come together and really put in the work or do kind of that initiatives to really put it on the map, because for example, this is what I call absolute top tier meme narrative. This is one of the best meme coin narratives ever, right? And so once again, when we go back to that thing of, okay, if Scrat is converting at a 0.1, 0.2 out of 100 humans who see the narrative buy, well, Resistance Dog, dude, this thing is converting at 5 people buy out of 100 as well, probably, right? It's such a good, ratio of people who see it, understand it, and they're like, that makes complete sense. I have confidence in that narrative. the only thing about resistance dog I see, for example, is that like it was a community takeover, meaning, you know, whoever originally launched or was behind it, they sold out, and you know, they distributed all their coins, and well, who's left to work on the coin now? Well, community can work on it, and it's fine, it's okay, but it's kind of like, you know,
you don't
let's
have
say you
leaders.
have a-
You don't have. You're saying, well, you don't have leaders. You don't have a dev. You don't have the core group.
yeah. And so because the narrative is so damn good, the thing is going to grow with time, because, well, naturally out of 100 people see it, man, 5 people are probably going to buy it. 3 are going to buy it. And that's good. That's going to compound over time, but it's not going to be a true, like, it's not going to be to the same extent as like Brett, for example, where I see Brett, man, they're in like parties in Brazil, they're in airports, they're in taxis, they're fucking everywhere around the world. And who is doing that? I don't know. But what I do know is that Resistance Dog who is going to do that for Resistance Dog? I don't know. You know, I don't see them. They're not there. And so that's the thing. You need people to come together who have a big enough bag. And, you know, you think a guy with a $2,000 bag of Resistance Dog is going to do that? No. I could pull up my screen right now and I have over $1 million bag of Resistance Dog. You think I'm going to go put on, you know, Resistance Dog on taxis and get him in the freaking Brazilian parties around the world and shit? No, my bag is not big, like where I'm going to go and dedicate myself to putting it on the map. And so, yeah, that is a downfall for it, even though, man, that is one of the strongest narratives. I will argue that's top 6, top 5 strongest meme coin narratives in history.
Okay, so with that in mind, I've got like 2 minutes left. What would you say is, for people who missed Brett and they're saying, okay, I missed it, what do you say is the next Brett? I mean, I know like you're all in on Brett and you think that Brett still got 10x upside position, but for people who think that they've missed Brett, what do you think is the next most promising smaller meme coin?
Yeah, I'll keep some cash sidelined, you know.
Yeah, but give us a coin. I mean, cash is not a coin.
Cash is greater than any coin right now, right? Probably because, you know, opportunities await us all, guys. And, you know, there are moments where if you go in at the right time, you can make a life-changing amount. And as someone who cares for my people, as someone who prioritizes the financial future of people that support me, I believe that there are very great opportunities ahead of us in the future, and I will make sure I take care of my people. So, yeah, I think cash is the best option, or Brett right now, or 𝗏𝗢𝗄.
What about PayPay? I've been watching PayPay for a while. People are saying it's repeating the Brett playbook. A lot of incentivized people, 130 million market cap, good chart. Have you looked at this one?
Yeah, I've seen it. You know, I think it looks like they're doing a lot better than most coins. I don't have a penny invested or anything in that. But what I will say is, man, at least the chart is up and to the right now. And, you know, I can guarantee you, you know, every person in that coin right now is in profit. And that's great. That's a lot better than a lot of these coins out there. But, you know, there's this coin out there called Landwolf, right, on Solana. Yes. I'm not sure if you've seen it.
Yes.
Yeah. So thing about this is, you know, that chart was up and to the right as well. People were in profit temporarily. And of course, I understand the market pulls back, things pull back, and, you know, that's natural. But, you know, there's something about testosterone levels. And if you lack that, then that's what happens to your chart right there. Okay, so this is a thing. People think that's a joke. T levels. What the fuck does that have to do with meme coins? Well, you got to also look who's behind a coin, man. And if they're T levels, like if they're fat, if they're weird, if they fucking don't have aura, that shit is going to translate into the price. You got to look at that because, okay, when people look at Landwolf and they look at the leaders or they look at the people there, do they have confidence? Do they feel like, man, I feel good with these people? Or do they think, man, maybe he's a little fat. Man, maybe I don't feel that confident here.
T
so
levels,
that shit
guys.
translates.
T levels, bro.
T levels are important. And to
listen,
the devs
brother,
out there, get to the fucking gym.
I'm completely out of time. T levels, I guess, is probably the best gem you've given me here today, brother. Thank you so much. I'll see you again soon. To you guys, the Banter fam, I'm going to see you guys again on Sunday. Don't forget, we're having the big meme coin show on Sunday. I'll see you guys again. Until then, trade well, my friends.